Hi, my name is Lex, and welcome to my transition videos. I am a 23-year-old non-binary person, assigned female, and I'm going to be going on low-dose testosterone in a few days. I really wanted to document my transition because when I was making the decision to transition, I didn't really find a lot of information on transitioning as a non-binary person, and in particular, how to transition if you don't want to end up looking like a cis man or a cis woman. And when I looked at pictures of trans guys who ended up looking very masculine after their transition, putting myself in their place and thinking of transitioning to that sort of appearance made me very uncomfortable, and I knew that wasn't what I was going for. So my hope is that firstly, I can just document the steps in my own transition process so that if any of you who are out there are thinking of a similar path, you can look at me and the steps I go through and know what you can expect. And also I want to use these videos to gather resources on what it's like to go through transition, and in particular non-binary transition. So a little bit about me. I mentioned I'm 23. I came out about a year ago. And it's hard to say when the process of realizing I was non-binary began, because it kind of didn't have a beginning. It sort of happened pretty smoothly from total repression to complete acceptance. And I can't really point to one period of time when it started, quote unquote. But I definitely wasn't one of those kids who, I always knew that my gender didn't fit me. That was definitely not the case. I was self-closeted for a very long time. And only in recent years did that start to change. So right now I'm in a very supportive environment. I have people around me who support me, and I don't really fear violence or anything. So, excuse me. The thing I'm most worried about in terms of social consequences to my transition is I'm going to be looking for a job soon, and I'm really worried about navigating the process of looking for a job if I'm visibly trans. I know that, well, anyway, I think things are going to go pretty well. I think I'm very much on the privileged end of the spectrum in terms of the amount of social support I have. So I feel pretty positive about that on the whole. Medically, I have polycystic ovary syndrome, which for one thing means that I've had very slightly elevated levels of testosterone in my body compared to a cis woman for a long time. And for another thing, it means that my periods have always been very physically painful. And in one case, I bled so much that I was severely anemic. So right now I'm on Nexplanon, the birth control implant, to stop my periods, and that has been successful so far, and I don't menstruate anymore. But my doctor wants to get that removed soon after I start testosterone, because She thinks that the addition of putting both progesterone and testosterone in my system is probably not healthy. I'm pretty reluctant to give up the Nexplanon because it stopped my periods, and I really, really like that, and I really, really don't want to get my period. But I'm probably gonna have that removed sometime in the near future. So what else? Well, I think in another video I'm going to get more into what my process of self-discovery and coming out has been, and also what steps have I taken so far to get to the point where I can take testosterone. And this is what the little packets look like. This is androgel, testosterone gel, 1%, and I'm going to be taking 25 milligrams of testosterone each day. So that's a low dose. I requested of my doctor that I be on a half dose of testosterone compared to a trans man. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be on, and I'm really excited. And so until next time, you guys should ask me whatever questions that you want. Even if it's something like, what is trans? I don't even. And even if it's something like, what do your genitals look like? Because I don't actually mind those sorts of questions. I understand how that's a super intrusive question, but I personally don't mind. Because yeah, I want to answer your questions, and I want to do research on non-binary transition for you. And so if you have any specific questions that you'd like me to cover, definitely ask. And until then, see you later.